Hello, everyone. Before we start, we just wanted to actually thank you as per the partners and the organizers of this event. Really understand how hard it is to actually be here today with everything happening around us in the world and everything falling apart somehow. We really thank you all for being here because many people really need us to be supporting them during this time. Many entrepreneurs and many talents, they cannot afford but move forward with their own setups and with their own with their own beings and somehow, and we need to be supporting them and being here today. So I just wanted to actually thank you on behalf of Launch DXB to being here, and I would like to pass it to Albert and to Ali to thank you on their behalves too.
Like Alice said, we just wanted to thank you guys for coming today. Due to the circumstances that's going on in the UAE, we understand how important health is. So we appreciate you guys for being still a part of the panels, even though it's not going to be for the general public. It will be live streamed as well as videotaped and broadcast online. So once again, just thank you for coming, and it's sure be exciting. I'm sure it's going to develop interesting sound bites, and hopefully we do some things that the general public, both in the UAE and abroad, can realize what we're bringing to the city. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys for giving us this platform and sharing the space with you as we initiate the Emirates Music Summit. We've come a long way over the last 2 to 3 months with planning this and then replanning it over the past week. But we felt the need to continue our way forward with collaborating with each other, encouraging innovation, encouraging solutions such as the online channel we're doing right now to deliver a message of unity, of hope, of innovation. And we hope you guys continue with us through this journey in time. And we want to also take a moment to thank the accomplishments of the people surrounding us over here who have invested so heavily in the music and entertainment business. And we hope collectively, by supporting each other, we can actually raise the bar and work on solutions that promotes the UAE and Dubai as one of the top destinations for the initiatives that we want to drive through the summit. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Sahi. I am a 20-year-old artist. I'm from Iraq originally and born and raised in Belgium. So I do music, I do pop music, I do pop oriental music. I have a lot of projects coming up, which is very exciting. And I'm super honored to be sitting a part of talented people who have developed and elaborated businesses, arts, venues, everything to support local and potentially international talents. So thank you guys for being here with us. So thank you for joining us. And so let's start with our talk. So I just want you guys to, first of all, introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do, and elaborate just a little bit more about your business, if it's possible. Whoever.
My name is Saif. Some of you might know me as Saif and Sound. I'm an ex-radio presenter. I've been doing radio for about 8 years. I'm a DJ, I'm an MC, I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own creative agency that I started a couple of years ago by the name of The Project, mainly based in Abu Dhabi. I'm also the founder of an emerging platform for local artists called Homegrown, which I've just recently launched a couple of years ago. It's also based in Abu Dhabi. You guys are probably wondering why everything is in Abu Dhabi. Well, I was born and raised in Abu Dhabi, and I feel like, I feel like Dubai is oversaturated with events, especially when it comes to local artists, and no one is kind of, shedding any light on Abu Dhabi, and I just feel the need to kind of do that. I'm like, I mean, I live in Dubai, I do a lot of things in Dubai, but I'm like, there has to be that balance. So, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Hello, guys. My name is Joseph Osawaye. I'm Nigerian. I'm the chief promoter and CEO of Kiza Restaurant and Lounge at the DIFC here in Dubai. We are the African place in the UAE, anything to do with Africa. Our vision is Africa inspiring the world, and our mission is to showcase the best in and out of Africa through sight, sound, and taste. We've been on this journey of promoting emerging artists and new artists for a couple of years now, over 8 years. The big Afrobeat artists that we all talk about now, we brought them in about 7 years ago when they were still little kids. So we've done our fair share in pushing this narrative to give people the platform. We actually focus on the African artist, mainly Afrobeat, Afro-pop, and all that. And that's what we do. We, as we say, showcase the best in and out of Africa through sight, sound, and taste. So African food from all over Africa, music from all over Africa, art and culture from all over Africa. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is one of the things I do. I do other things as well, but we'll stick to this for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Shelly, you want to go?
Hi, my name is Shelly Frost, and I'm the founder of The Fridge. But essentially, at heart, I'm a harpist, musician, more from a classical background originally. But as The Fridge, we're coming up to 13 years old now, and we have a vision based on providing opportunities and platforms for the performing arts, notably music, from the ground up. So we have a venue that supports local programming, album launches, and we look at ways of providing opportunities for artists through the various platforms, be they corporate, governmental, curating massive festivals, and being therefore at the forefront with pushing up-and-coming artists that are ready to take the platform and sort of creating that line for them, if you like.
Amazing.
And Ali Dhiyebi from Straight Up Entertainment. I'm one of the founding members of the company and one of the organizers of the Immerse Music Summit. Our vision is to bring fitness and entertainment to various sectors in the industry by working through government and the private sector and talent management. Our approach to the industry is different in the sense that we're not here to invest in one-off gigs when it comes to various talents across the world. We want to invest in those talents in the long term and at the same time support the economy to grow. So by investing in them in long-term tours on an annual or semi-annual basis of approximately 2 to 3 weeks, we want to boost their profiles through various platforms and give them an opportunity locally to reach out to global opportunities. With the founding members of the UAE and the various businesses that have given so much over here to create the perfect platform to encourage innovation and talent and so forth. We just want to take our part in picking up the pieces, connecting the dots, and delivering to this unity and message. So thank you very much for coming over here, and we look forward to starting this panel.
Amazing. So you guys have kind of answered the next question in a way, but I'm still going to ask it. You guys have such a unique way of supporting local and international artists through like your business, your arts, your talents. Can you elaborate on how you guys support those talents through your business?
Do you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't do much with international artists. It's just because I can't really afford them. But yeah, let's just stick with local artists. As I said earlier, I've been heavily involved purely in the music business from, being on the radio for so many years, DJing, having my own kind of creative freedom with the company to do anything I can possibly can to kind of nourish this industry here in the UAE, but also being part of talent events, stuff like this, for example, which helps artists to kind of, to not just grow, but it's some sort of like an eye-opener for them to kind of discover new opportunities and get them thinking and, share with them some ideas on how they can, take their business from step 1 to step 3 or step 10. But, I've been pushing a lot of music from the UAE on the radio, although I've been told not to for so many years. It's just because, you know, radio is very commercial here in the UAE, unfortunately. And, you know, whenever they hear the word local artists, it's a bit scary for them. They kind of take a step back and go like, oh, I don't know if we have any good music from local artists, especially from a head of a station who has just come from outside, from like the UK or the US, because they always, whenever any artist comes up to me and go like, oh, can you play my music on the radio? I was like, you have to think about it. You're competing with the likes of Rihanna. You're competing with the likes of, you know, David Guetta, with Justin Bieber. So that's why if your music is not up there, is not up to that standard, it's really hard for me to convince the head of the station to you know, add your music to the playlist. And it's not as easy as it sounds like, where I can just go like, oh, hey, let me add your song on the radio and just play it. You know, it's there's a very complicated process behind it on what gets added into our, you know, recurrent playlist. But I've just recently launched. This is probably one of the proudest things in my career. I'm a firm believer in local artistry here in the UAE, especially when it comes to music, because I consider myself as a musician, from, you know, being on the radio, being a DJ, producing my own music. But I've just recently started a platform called Homegrown, which is a platform for local artists. As I said, we do it on a monthly basis in Abu Dhabi. I've just recently launched it in November. And we have a group of very talented artists from across the UAE. And when I say artists, I'm not necessarily talking about, you know, music artists. It could be anything. It could be visual artists. It could be production artists, as in, you know, photographers, videographers, comedians, whatever. So I bring a pool of really incredible talents from the UAE, put them in one venue, and it's more of not just, you know, shedding a light on these artists, but actually, you know, connecting with all the different artists from the UAE and sharing ideas and really exchange numbers and, you know, explore different opportunities, collaborations, features, whatever it may be. So I'm really proud of this. And, you know, we've just started a couple of months ago. We started really small, but hopefully the plan is to grow and push boundaries and, you know, break fences and hopefully, do something for the music scene here in the UAE.
Super nice. Well, congrats. It's a beautiful service that you're offering to everyone. I think so many people are in need of such a service, or like are really, you know, they really want something like this out there, and you created it. So wonderful. Congrats. Yeah. So what are the services that you guys provide? How do you support talents?
For over 8 years, as I said earlier, we've been providing a platform for a lot of African artists to come showcase their artistry here in Dubai and the UAE. We've done one or two things in Abu Dhabi as well. For us, Kiza has been the first place that a lot of these artists have had the opportunity to do international gigs. So they're so happy that you get paid for it, and at the same time you can showcase your talent to a very sophisticated place like Dubai, where they say they have over 200 nationalities here. So it's a single, one-spot place where if people see you here, they can take it to their other countries, and you get much more popular than just being a local star. We've been doing this for over 8 years now.
And do you do that on like a regular basis? Like, do you get artists, like for example, to perform at Kiza and showcase their talents?
Yes, when we first started about 8 years ago, like on a monthly basis, we used to bring artists. We kind of slowed down on that because we brought everybody. And
you ran out of people.
We didn't want to start to recycle.
Yeah.
What is happening now is that the other places are now tapping into the Afrobeat scene and bringing the same artist. Yeah, so when they come to these different acts, they also end up at home, which is Kiza, to come have a good time.
All right, amazing. Yeah, you want to, Shelly?
Yeah, sure.
Tell us more about the fridge.
We have a few platforms that are really dedicated to supporting artists. First of all, I think what's unusual about the fridge and notable is that we're a multi-genre. So from jazz to sometimes classical, but then through everything, be it urban, R&B, up-and-coming indie bands. And we like doing things in series. We like doing things in series a lot. So our concert series has lasted for, is coming up to its almost 12-year mark of programming concerts for independent artists. Those concerts are an incredible platform because we provide our venue plus state-of-the-art sound equipment, market the concert for the artist. So it's a wonderful way that they can get to showcase their new material, as well as album launches. We've done nearly 40 album launches to date.
Amazing.
For locally based artists. That platform also features regional artists under another programming head called The Fringe. So we typically do around 20 to 25 concerts per year under those various platforms. Another way that I touched on earlier that is exciting is that as we see an artist coming up through the ranks, one is able to take someone from singer-songwriter to seeing the material develop, hooking them in then with a band, giving them a live opportunity, and from that, seeing how the artist develops, being able to place them on something like Mother of the Nation or one of the many festival platforms, be it Seeker or wherever else. And then, you know, as you say, Kiza, from there you get noticed and things build.
Yeah. It's
so
often in places like this, places like what you guys offer, that they're exposed, like the talents are exposed to people, to, you know, opportunities, connections, networking. It's always places like that. Amazing. So I want to know from you guys, what are some of the challenges that you faced?
I haven't faced any challenges yet, more opportunities, to be honest.
Okay.
But sorry, I don't do well with mics. Oh, yeah. I'm used to holding a drink and not a mic. So, but what can I say? I'll stick to opportunities with regards to that. But basically, we just heard 3 amazing platforms that exist on this stage, and there's so many across the industry, from the government and the private sector. And we started our journey just a few months ago, and really trying to just connect the dots from government level to amazing entrepreneurs who have developed amazing platforms, and just seeing how we can connect those with artists from the youth and the emerging ones up to the A class, and then connecting them with some of the government strategies that exist, and seeing how to create a combined and collective platform for these artists to come out to in the UAE and just explore a wealth of knowledge and opportunities within a 2-week or 4-week program for them. So for me, I don't really see it from the glass being half empty, but more on the glass being half full, and how we can contribute further to bring up the scene in Dubai
That's
in
great.
the industry.
That's amazing. Yeah.
What was the question again?
The question.
I know what's the question, but
no,
I
it's
just
fine.
want to. Yeah.
The question is like, what?
I have
what
been paying
challenges-
attention. Don't laugh at me.
What challenges did you face throughout maybe your career, your business?
That I face?
Yes.
Well, to be very honest with you, I consider myself as a local artist, and you know, I've gone through the exact same process as every other artist in the UAE. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be given certain opportunities that other people didn't get to from a very early age. Ever since I was like 18 years old, I was fully involved in the music scene, from, as I said, being on the radio, being a DJ, being out there in the market. But I want to talk from the artist, from the local committee perspective here. You know, the key word is believe, really. If you believe as an event organizer, as a promoter, as an artist yourself, if you believe in the artistry level that we have here in the UAE, everything is just going to be fine. As an event organizer, if you believe that we have some incredible talents, and we do have a lot of incredible talents. I mean, we have some tacky ones. It's just the way it works in every country in the world. You know, you have the tacky talents, but, you know, it's your job to kind of... I thought you were laughing at me. But it's your job, you know, as a producer, as an event organizer, to kind of, you know, advise them and you know, lead them in the right direction
them,
in order to, you know, to develop and become better. But if you believe in the talents that we have here in the UAE, and when I say believe, I'm referring to, you know, providing opportunities, providing platforms. I'm a local artist, as I said myself, but also I'm on the other side of the river, if you will. And you know, I try to provide platform for local artists, including myself. I provide my own platform and I create my own opportunities by doing these events, by, you know, knocking on the door and asking people for opportunities, and just, you know, changing that perception that, you know, we have some incredible talents here in the UAE. Why don't you just, you know, give them a try, and you know, the world is going to be a better place.
You're one yourself, so like you would relate, you would understand,
Exactly.
you would give them what you want for yourself as well. You know?
Yeah, so I come from two different sides of the business, where I'm a local artist myself. I know what is kind of required from me to reach that certain level.
For sure,
But
yeah.
also from an event organizer perspective is that, you know, maybe the talent is not fully polished yet. I'm not expecting it to be, which is why, you know, we do stuff like this. You know, we create opportunities for local artists to fully polish those talents and, you know, make them the A-list superstars that they have always dreamed of being.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else wants to?
Yes.
Yes.
As Saif just talked about, some of the challenges we've had over time is because these guys are coming from a different culture into the UAE that has its own style and its own culture and its own rules and regulation.
Yeah.
There's sometimes a cultural shock, like using swear words and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's super different than here.
It's
I
super
believe.
different.
Yeah.
So it kind of restricts the way they express themselves. So we give them a do's and don'ts, a long list of all the things you can do on stage and what you cannot do on stage. But the more they come, they start getting accustomed to the few days that they have to spend here. From a business perspective, we started to do things differently long way back before people saw it, which is part of what business is all about and being a visionary. When we started the whole Afrobeat scene, nobody knew anything about Afrobeat.
True, yeah.
The same thing with African food. When you say, you come have African food, they're asking what kind of food are you talking about? But it's the same seafood, poultry, meat, and all the rest. It's just the way it's prepared. So we've had to educate a lot of people to come try what African food is and the kind of influences African food, culture, and music and all the rest has also permeated the rest of the world. So we've given a lot of people that opportunity to come use our platform to reach out. We're still constantly helping them get more professional, even as simple as a sound check. You give them time for sound check.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't understand what time is in a lot of the African countries. So you say, hey, we got sound check for 4 o'clock, and people turn up at 6. So they need to be much more professional and all that.
It's like Arab timing, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? So as they continue to go international, they start to understand that, you know, business is different. It's not like the way you do it in the local scene.
Amazing. Amazing. So I just want to touch down on basically how, because we live in the UAE, right? The UAE is a city with wonderful talents, with so many people who are so gifted. I just want to know, like, how does, like, what unique advantages does the UAE have on that? Like, what does it offer? Go.
Mic check.
Right. What the UAE has to offer is an incredible amount of opportunity for artists. We have amazing venues, a forward-thinking environment. We're always challenged, and the opportunities are extraordinary. Here as a band, you very quickly get noticed. You very quickly have the opportunity to do an amazing opening act at Do Arena or Dubai Opera stage. I think the opportunities are extraordinary. So I sort of coming back to the challenge as an artist here is to what we see is sometimes artists get amazing opportunities really quickly, quicker than you would in another market. And unless you have the maturity to handle that, you perhaps kind of think to a certain extent you've kind of arrived and you get a bit ahead of yourself. So knowing that those opportunities are very, very special and using them as a springboard, but consistently pushing the polish and pushing your act further, not thinking that those opportunities have come because you've arrived. Those opportunities have come because you're in a very privileged space. So that's what I think what is very special here. I think if you do have something, the sky's the limit and nothing will hold you back. If I can just backtrack ever so quickly onto challenges, because I kind of got left out on those.
Yeah, for sure, of course. So sorry, yeah.
But just to touch on one thing, which is for us, legislation is has been a challenge, and the way perhaps culture or the music scene is treated as entertainment and kind of falls under the same bracket. But that's a big discussion and it's ongoing, and I'm hopeful that in the years to come we will see a complete change in the way the creative industries are treated, and that's intrinsic to there being freedom, more freedom for venues to take on local artists without a financial implication that bogs things down. That's actually it.
Amazing. Anyone else on how the UAE is helping artists?
I think there are a lot of things that the UAE has contributed towards providing this amazing platform that we have over here. But as I said before, it starts with what the founding rulers have done to open this door of wealth and knowledge that has been given through the various people who have given decades of contributions to this particular field. And I think it's evolving in the right manner. A lot more can be done. But earlier this year, through Dubai Council, they've also announced various initiatives that help talent and innovation and wanting to explore opportunities of bringing international and local talents and collaborating with each other through various initiatives. They're introducing the visa for talents and artists to come over here, call this place a home, and work through various platforms that are available through these scholarships being provided by the UAE government in collaboration with some of the highest ranked music schools such as Berkeley and New York University and so forth. And I believe if we just continue talking and working through such workshops and finding opportunities to explore, remove these barriers and challenges, as Shelly rightly said, the sky is the limit.
And I just want to add one more thing. Shelly and I were just actually talking about it before we started this discussion. We were like, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, if you were to knock on a venue door or like a hotel door and be like, hey, I have this local artist and, I would love for you to consider, booking him or her for your event, everybody is going to look at you like, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? We don't do local artists. So it's unheard of. Like 8 years ago, but now that perception has totally changed, and it just goes back to what you were saying. It's our job, it's our duty to kind of keep pushing that perception, that mentality that we do have some incredible talents here, and you need to actually consider these talents and stop booking and wasting your money by booking these A-listers. I mean, I know it's great, and it might bring you the money, it might bring you the fame, it's going to bring you the crowd, but if we keep believing in our talents and giving them those same exact opportunities, they're going to reach to that exact same level.
I completely agree with you on that. That's an amazing thing to say, actually. So what can you guys do to help expand the scene in the UAE? How do you think you can grow it?
From a Kiza perspective, we're just going to do what we're doing. We've been doing it for 8 years. We're going to do it, and we look for better ways to do it and bring not the A-listers, as Saif said, but bring those that's just emerging and give them the same opportunity we gave the A-listers about 8 years ago.
Amazing.
Thank you.
In terms of expanding the scene, I think we're in very exciting times where I think one of the things that has been perhaps tricky and slowing things up in the past has been a lack of the scene hasn't necessarily been well constructed, and suddenly with the arrival of Deezer, Spotify, and Rami that's taken hold, suddenly everything in the last year has changed, and I think that that's really super healthy and very exciting, and I think that's going to lead to a lot more communication, collaboration within the scene as it grows up. So moving away from perhaps sort of siloed pockets to bigger discussions and more collaboration, I think.
I agree totally. I think by putting our hands down with regard and not looking at it from a business perspective all the time helps greatly, and just following your belief, as Saif said, and your passion and your eye for these various talents and picking them up from youth or emerging stage and providing those opportunities can lead to giving that equal opportunity for everybody to have a foundation and to grow from and reach out to those global opportunities. So we've spoken to so many people over the last 2 to 3 months, and everyone seems to be in consent with that kind of approach. So we'll take it step by step and see where we can work with each other and improve on that. And we can take it, as I said, idea by idea, step by step, and move this industry forward.
You know, we're talking from a professional point of view, but if you step down a little and talking from a humbling perspective, I mean, there are so many ways that we could do to help local artists. But from a personal perspective, you know.
This is, sorry, this is literally the next question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Go for
No,
it.
no, I was just about to say that
Yeah.
I've noticed over the years that just offering personal advice to artists could do so much, can go a long way.
It could, yeah.
You know, I get asked all the time, artists jump on my DM and go like, hey, I've just released this new song, I've just released this new album. Like, you know, would you mind just taking some time to listen to it and give me some feedback? And I've honestly felt like, you know, this means so much to them than anything else. If you offer them constructive criticism, as a professional in the business, you know, I see things differently from the way that the artists see it. It's the same as being a DJ, you know, from where you're standing is a completely different view from where the crowd is standing. So offering them criticism, giving them time and appreciate what they're doing, and just, you know, offer support and help, and, you know, that could just go a long way for the artists.
Amazing. Now I don't know what to ask because
just
no,
ask it for the sake of it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, this is the thing I wanted to also touch down on, is that, for example, myself, I'm an artist. I'm creating. I'm in this stage right now of my life that, you know, time isn't time. A clock doesn't exist. Like, I literally read a book about that, is that as a talent, you shouldn't even be looking at like, oh, it's 10 p.m., I should go sleep. If you feel inspired, or if you feel like you want to create or you have to create, you just go for it. I was also in an argument the other day with someone, and that someone told me that you should, like, even when you don't have inspiration, sometimes you need to force it, because inspiration doesn't always come to you. So you need to try and force it. You need to, like, it's a mental thing. So the question really is, how can you help artists? Like, again, how can you help artists, you guys, as people who have those platforms and these services? How can you help them develop and potentially grow? How can you help those artists? How can you advise them? How can you?
Well, us at Straight Up Entertainment, really what we want to do is take a bit of every platform and every hand that is ready to work with us, and just develop a customized program for talents of all sorts to experience a journey and a support group that can guide them into the opportunities that are available over here. And with all these DSPs on international basis having offices over here, it's the perfect playground for the emerging artists as well as the A-class artists to just come over here, engage and get the necessary tools and support through these various platforms to move forward in life. And just giving back to that is one that you need to work for through passion first before following a business model or financial gains at the end of the day. And that's what we intend to do.
Amazing.
It's quite interesting you talked about passion. I think you got to be passionate about what you do and don't jump into the bandwagon because you see a lot of people doing it. Another area, emerging artists and even those that are already seasoned, it is show business. It is show, but it is also a business. So you got to understand work ethics. It cuts across every industry, every career, every profession. You must have excellent work ethics for you to be able to excel in whatever you're doing. So a lot of times I meet a lot of the artists, and this is what we talk about, that you must have the right support structure. As you make money, don't just spend the money. Get the right legal team, accounting team, marketing team. Investing in the business and not too much on bling bling.
For sure, yeah, it's totally true. People these days tend to like spend it all on bling bling, but like really it's just if you get like a certain amount from like something from a show, from a music video, from whatever, it's important to invest in it for sure. I think it's really important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think for growing artists, going right back to the beginning and growing the future artists, it comes down to education, making sure that right from the beginning, kids are given amazing opportunities with incredible mentors, and then a vibrant scene in which to collaborate, listen to one another. That's how things progress as an artist. And you see what's going on around you, and you want to be take inspiration and vie off, and
yeah.
It's interesting that you were talking about the business side of the music business, because I'm a firm believer in investing in your craft financially. I'm talking about here, because I remember when I first started off so many years ago, whenever I used to get paid from a gig or like a certain show, I used to allocate probably 90% of that amount into my craft. It could be as simple as actually doing a professional photo shoot, because I've noticed like in the past couple of months, ever since I started my event Homegrown, I reached out to artists and be like, hey, listen, send me like just a short bio, some professional pictures for the flyers, because I want to promote these artists. And I've just learned that a lot of them don't even understand the basics of the music business. Is have a press kit. It doesn't have to be a flashy press kit. It could be just a simple press kit, where you're born, when did you start, what are some of the events that you've performed at. So it's very important for you as an artist to keep investing your money, and as you just said, your time. Exactly, it's very important, investing your time and your money into your craft. It's like being, I don't know, if you have a normal job, right? One of the first things that your mom tell you, like 2 years, 3 years down the line, maybe it's an Arab thing, I don't know. Just invest your money, buy property, do things. Just circulate that money that you have instead of just saving it in your bank account. And it works exactly the same with the music business. You need to invest that money and that energy and time into your craft if you want to actually take it seriously.
Amazing. I mean, we're pretty much towards the end of this talk. Just one last thing is do you guys have any remarks to do? Do you guys have anything to say for the people who are watching, the people who are here? Any last words?
I mean, I just want to thank Ali, the team, Straight Up Entertainment, and this can I call it an initiative? Initiative, Emirates Music Summit. I was honestly, when I jumped on a call with Ali a couple of days ago, and we had a very intensive conversation about his vision towards music in the UAE. I was deep down, although I don't really know him, but I was very proud, because I'm like, finally I found someone that actually thinks exactly like the same as I would think, and we have the same objective, the same mission towards putting not just local artists, it's the bigger picture. It's actually, I was born and raised in this country, and the least that I want to do is to actually have some sort of like a remark or a footprint in the music industry here in the UAE, and put the UAE on the map. I want everybody from all over the world. We look at Europe, we look at the US, and we go like, oh, look at the way they do things. But I want that to change towards Dubai, and not just Dubai, the UAE. I should say Abu Dhabi, really, if anything. Towards Abu Dhabi, because I want people to look at us and be like, look, the way they're doing things is very unique, it's very different, it's really cool.
Yes.
And, you know, they start booking us instead of us booking them. I always tell the artists here that, you know, we're blessed to live in the UAE, because that's a big sell on its own if you want to perform
Very
internationally. You know, the fact when they put, Safe and Sound from the UAE, from Dubai, blah, 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 that's just like a big sell. Everyone is going to go crazy for that. And, you know, we're not using it enough. We're not milking it enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just want to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it.
True.
Thank you very much for this platform. This fantastic initiative that you guys just started. I hope they get solution to the pandemic in the world at the moment. It would have been much, much bigger than this. Talking to the artist, I want them to understand that it's a journey, it's not a destination. You got to continually look for a way to be much more innovative and creative, and dare to be different, dare to be authentic and original. You can see a lot of the artists all looking the same kind of vibe and all that. Yeah. They're so scared to go out of that lane that seems to be the him thing now. But you find out that somebody started the style. So dare to be different, dare to be original, and go for it. Follow your passion.
Yeah.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah, huge thanks to Straight Up Entertainment as well. I think that these conversations are really useful because the music business is a huge and complex thing, and we each have our areas in which we are stronger and more aligned, if you like, or geared up to deal with certain aspects. And I think the more we understand what each of us do, and the more we're able to feed in and feed off the expertise that exists between us, that's also very interesting for the industry and the artist. And then fully echo what both of you have said about the artist. So my support there too.
I just want to take this opportunity as well to just call out to the young who are interested and aspired to join this particular industry, as well as those who have already started the journey, and those who have made it, to just take opportunity of using this platform as a way of connecting all the dots and meeting everybody within the industry. So I just encourage all of us to just sit down on a regular basis through this summit and through the workshops that we're going to be having in between to just boost and drive those synergies and that unity as we work together to shape the next generation. And I wish you all the best, and hope to see you guys over here again soon.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. As an artist, just thank you guys so much endlessly for what you do. Thank you so much for Straight Up Entertainment. Thank you for delivering those services that the talents really need right now, or really want to contribute to. It's really important, like for this industry to have services and platforms where they can actually deliver their art, whether it's music, whether it's anything else artistic. So it's really great. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure talking to all of you. And yeah, hope to see you guys soon and just striving.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.